Hello everyone, and thanks for stopping by my channel. I am Serg T. In this video I'll be talking about Friday Night Smackdown for July 5th, 2024. More than past the halfway mark in this year. Before you know it, New Year's is going to hit, and we're going to be looking at 2025 and where is WWE going to be at that point? How advanced are they going to be in their current storylines? Especially the bloodline. But let's talk about tonight. 16,932 in a jam-packed arena in Canada are yeeting to main event Jey Uso as he is now in your city. Well, he used to do that. He's not part of the bloodline anymore. But LA Knight comes out, who is just as popular as Jey, and he has everyone saying yeet. But tomorrow in Toronto, he'll have everyone yelling, yeah. And they both have a yeet and a yeah off. And Carmelo comes out and he reminds us that he is that guy. And does the usual running down of these two. And is interrupted by Master Gable and the you suck chants start up. He reminds us again of his rough time with his family leaving him and the Wyatt Six attacking him for no reason. And then he's interrupted by Andrade. He's talking about all those guys talking about their dreams. But dreams don't win matches, says Andrade. And then he's interrupted by Drew McIntyre as the CM Punk chants follow him as he goes from the stage to the ring. He says that he's going to, he insults the crowd and he reminds us that his family is always with him. With that bracelet on his wrist that bears the names of AJ Lee and Larry, and he warns all of them in the ring that what he did to Punk will also happen to them. He wants to talk about the other competitors. El Idiot, he calls Andrade, and he feels bad for Chad. He doesn't even say anything bad to him. And then Mello, he says, you got a bright future, but you are not him. You're looking up at him. And LA Knight, that's not the words you're going to need tomorrow. The yeah, you're going to need it. What it's going to be is no. And then Jey, how the hell did you get across the border anyway? I mean, a lot of times in the past, especially him and his brother, because of their DUIs and whatever other trouble, they weren't allowed across, But in recent years, recent months, he's been allowed. He's gotten that thing. I mean, I got to give it to him and him and Jimmy. That they were in a lot of trouble. I don't know, 2 or 3 DUIs, or something like that, and they've turned that around. And they don't even no trouble or problems in recent, I say, a year or so. So good on them, because you got to learn from your mistakes, and apparently they have. So good on them. And then from behind, he wasn't going to put up with Drew's insults, or that initial one that he did, and he's attacked from behind by Andrade. And then Jey super kicks Mello. Gable suplexes a Knight, and then Andrade kicks Gable. I don't know. He kicked him. I don't. He didn't. He did that. He didn't do that fake kick to the back elbow. He just kicked him. And then Jey tosses Andrade out. Then Jey looks to fly, but is railroaded by the Scottish Warrior, who stands tall, but not for long, as Knight and Jey take turns delivering stiff shots to Drew to the sounds of yeets and yes, and both clothesline McIntyre to the floor below. This is a typical spot, a typical multi-man spot that you can get away with it really quickly. Boom, just put it out there, have everybody have their say, and then you have the typical everybody gets their shit in, everybody gets a move in, takes out one guy, he gets taken out by the guy that took him out, gets taken out himself, and all that. Some people don't like it. Don't bother me. It's just like, hey, you got everybody out there, and you pretty much let everybody present their case in the sense of why they think they're gonna win. But it was a good spot, decent segment, So yeah, what do you want, right? Just it is what it is, and it moves the show along. What do you want them to be out there for? Everybody talking for like 20 minutes each, and then stuff like that, or maybe a multi-man match. No, that was good enough. Now Bayley is backstage, And she has some experience in Money in the Bank. We all know, remember that. And she actually won it and cashed in successfully in 2019. But as she tells us the right way to be successful, she was asked that by, in an interview backstage. How do you be successful as you were in Money in the Bank? Then Chelsea Green walks in and says, boring, while yawning and going like this, like this at Bailey. And she claims that Bailey is irrelevant. Irrelevant. And would it be champ if she wasn't illegally ejected? That past match she had. And then Bailey's attacked by Piper Niven. And then Chelsea promises Bailey that she will see her coming once she wins Money in the Bank. I don't know why she would say that, because don't you want to be secretive? Don't you want to I guess she's just saying that she's not going to be she's going to be transparent. Is she going to be one of the ones that fails in her cash in if she is the thing, and then she's like, if she wins it, and she's going to say, I'm going to challenge you at this pay-per-view. I'm going to challenge you at this SmackDown. I mean, is that, or whatever brand she's on, right? Because whatever brand you're on, you can challenge whomever champion you want. I don't know if it's championship specific to your brand. I don't know. And then Bailey comes out of Nick Aldis' office later, and she lets Naomi know, who's there waiting, that she gets a Piper in the ring later tonight. And Naomi tells her that I'm going to be in your corner, and she tells her I know that. And we're going to see that match later on. Now, the Street Profits and Pretty Awful. Not an awful tag team. They're just cringe. Pretty deadly. In tag team action, they meet, and this match is very competitive. I've never said that Pretty Deadly aren't a great team. It's just the stuff that they do is not my cup of tea. Very over the top, very cringy, the way they dress, the way they talk. I mean, if you like it, fine. I don't. And this match looks like a great tag team indicator as to who may be the next contenders for the tag team titles. And Montez Ford is so amazing, man. And he gets things going by showing a lot of offense and has Kip on the mat. Kip Wilson. That's all Kip. And sets up for a frog splash, but it's cut off by Elton Prince. And Pretty Awful pull off a double team superplex on Ford. But Dawkins delivers a clean swanton on Kit Wilson, but it's broken up by Elton Prince. I'm thinking about what was their prior names from before going to NXT, because on NXT UK they had different names. I'm trying to remember. I could look it up, but I'm trying to go off the memory. Stuff like that. I mean, these names aren't memorable either. You have to kind of run it through your head a bunch of times before you're like, okay, I now got their names. I think maybe this is the first time I ever got their names without having to strain my brain. But then we see a Sky High planting Wilson, and Tez is cleared for landing as he delivers a picture-perfect frog splash for the 1-2-3. They win the match. Does this make them number one contenders? We'll see. But that was smooth when, Elton Prince was tossed into the ring or thrown into the ring, and as he got up, Angelo Dawkins just scoops him up, does a Sky High, and Tez was the one that tossed him into the ring, and then he's right up to the top already. That guy is just amazing. Both of them are. I mean, Angelo Dawkins is 260 pounds, something like that, and that guy could fly. That guy just easily just dives over the top rope when he does that thing. That's, it's incredible, man. These guys have won every tag team title you can imagine. So this would be just another attempt for them to just add to their tag team victories, title victories, I should say. And may I add, before I move on, that B-Fab be looking fabulous. I just have to say that because she is one of my favorites. And then backstage, Theory has some doubts due to what Gargano said. Gargano's kind of getting his head just a little bit, but then Waller says that Johnny has gotten into his head. He has zero success with Gargano. I don't know about that, because those guys never had an opportunity to really, really sink their teeth into gold, whether it be tag team or individual, while they were a part of the way, But as Waller tells Theory, He tells him that he is a two-time U.S. champ. This is when he's saying that when you left and you're on your own, you're a two-time U.S. champ, the youngest Money in the Bank winner and loser. I mean, he should have brought that up, but he's trying to pump up his boy there. And he beat John Cena last year at WrestleMania. And in this past year's Mania with him, he and Waller won the WWE Tag Team Championships. And tonight in the main event, DIY challenged them for the tag team belts. It's not the main event, but it's the last match on the card. It wasn't the last thing that we saw, on SmackDown. But they're putting their titles on the line, and it should be a great match. Now, Indy and Candice, speaking of tag team action, are in tag team action, women's tag team action, and who are they facing? I'm thinking, who? No, I'm not trying to do the New Day, because New Day suck. I can't stand them. Well, it's the Storm, Jade Cargill, and the EST, Bianca Belair. And boy, am I getting tired of the shade being thrown at Jade Cargill. Yeah, she may still need some seasoning, right? And a time in the ring. But man, do toxic people out there wish nothing but failure to Cargill? Are you guys jealous? Are you guys seeing someone who's got a lot of shine on them and then you just want to dull that shine? Y'all have to understand that Tony Khan and AEW didn't do her any favors by booking her to be like a female Goldberg. And she never really developed past what they represented her as. A squash machine, a machine who wasn't given any real talent, just jobbers, local enhancement talent, and lower tier mid-carders. The only one that they actually put her up against that was of any kind of thing, was any kind of like a high caliber, was Ember Moon, who goes by Athena in AEW. And it's like she deserved to be, developed better than that. Wasn't she trained by the Nightmare Factory, by Cody Rhodes and all that stuff, right? Wasn't she had a lot of great trainers there? And it's just like they just basically said, no, we're just going to put you out there, and to make you look good, you're going to go take on the scrubs that I brought up, just a few moves here and there, and get you by. That isn't doing her any favors. And like I said, in WWE, she can flourish, and Triple H is ensuring. He said in the past that she's going to be trained and prepared for greatness, unlike how she was treated in AEW. He even says that they didn't do her any favors. She's gotten better. And I know that people ate it up when she slipped on the top rope in Clash at the Castle, when they didn't tighten the ropes. I mean, and you guys are going to... Do you guys expect her to be presented like a daggone, wrestle, like a match machine, and someone who, is a technical wizard in that ring? Like I've said, give her a move set, something that she can master, something that she can make her own and put it together, and then she'll be okay. Remember, not every wrestler, even the greatest wrestlers, even the ones that were regarded as like favorites and legends and all that stuff, they weren't wrestling, especially the way they presented. Hogan was a great wrestler, a chain wrestler in Japan. People only see how he was presented to his strengths, according to McMahon anyways. Would Hogan have many moves? No. Cena, same thing. And Cena's a great wrestler too, but they only show him doing his thing. China, same thing. The reason why people regarded her as a great wrestler is because she wrestled men. And so it made her look dominant. But then if you look at her way she's wrestling, it's not technical. It's not all that, but she did her job. Jade Cargill, y'all got to give her some slack. I'm not saying you have to like her or whatever. I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm just saying what I think. And there's rumors that they took the titles off of her because of the fact that she's not coming along well. Her look and everything like that, her charisma and all that stuff is on point. But her wrestling is still lacking. People backstage are not, digging her right now, in the sense that they're not digging her slow progress. But it's like, I think she's made some progress. And I don't think that's the reason why they took her off her. maybe they want them to drop them. Maybe that's the decision that they just gave it to Isla and Alba Fire because that was their hometown. They're going to give it to somebody. They're going to give it to them. They didn't give it to Piper. They didn't give it to Drew in their hometown. So that's what they did. So now they're fighting. Now they're that typical baby face coming from behind chasing. And that's good. That's a good thing that they should do. That's what you all should do with them, with the baby face. They should always be chasing, you know. And then we'll see. I say she's right on the right path, but y'all could look at me like I'm nuts. I really don't care what you think, in the sense that this is my thoughts. I don't care about what you think. I'm not going to tell you how to think. So don't expect me to think your way if it doesn't go along with what you think. We can what do you call it? You know, what's the word? But it's like, okay, agree to disagree. There you go. But in this match, going back to it, in the end, KOD and Jade secure the victory, as Jade is the one that made the cover after hitting Jaded. She covers Candice LeRae, and might I add, Cargill looked good here. Congrats to them both. What do you want? You know? Now, KO, Orton, and the WWE Champion, Cody Rhodes, are in the ring as they are set to face the Bloodline at Money in the Bank. But do they have a chance to beat them? Or will they fall victim as the wise man Paul Heyman did? Now, a lot going on in Toronto, and WWE and Toronto seem like a good fit. Says Cody, they've had enough of Solo and the modern Bloodline. They are ready for a fight, and Orton vows to end that match with the three most dangerous letters in sports entertainment, RKO. Now, KO takes up the majority of the rest of this promo anyway, this segment. And KO can talk about the last 4 years on the Bloodline, but he would rather talk about the last 4 days of his life, because on Monday morning he got a call from his dad. And the Ole chants are heard. I guess Sammy is in the ring too. I don't see him. You know, why are they chanting that? Yes, they're in Canada. And Sammy is a hometown boy. Everybody loves him. But enough with the chants that have nothing to do with what's going on in the ring or the people that are in the ring. They appreciated it. You see, what do you call it, smiling a little bit, KO. You see, you know, Orton and thing, but you know, and Cody, you know, a little into it, but it's like, I mean, even with what do you call it? The thing I gotta say about this crowd, they're a foreign crowd, right? They're in another country, like France, like Saudi and all that. But these guys didn't get out of hand with their singing and their chanting and all that stuff, you know, because they're not sheep. This crowd. I mean, I may make some comments here and there or certain things, but it's like, come on, you know, enough with this stuff just to sound cool. You can do that shit. You can chant all that good stuff. But it's just like when you do it and it makes no sense, or there's no place for it at that moment, y'all look dumb. It's like, I don't know. I've always said that if you're in a crowd, yes, you get into it. I would be getting into it. But when you're at home and you hear that, it just comes off as cringy sometimes, as annoying. But, you know, these guys were singing Orton to the ring, and they didn't sing every letter, every verse. They just sang that one part. You know, the I hear voices in my head, that part. And everybody singing that part. Fine. Don't make it about yourself. Make it about the superstars in the ring. Go along with them, because like I'm saying, people will say, well, isn't it about us when we're there and we're having fun? But no, I'm saying that if you do something there and you're just, I can see people are just looking at each other like, look at what I did, look what I said. Instead of looking at the superstar and singing to the person or something like that, they're like looking at each other like, look what I did, pat on the back, Barry Horowitz style. Let me give myself a pat on the back because look what I did. You know, that's not how it goes. That's not how it should be. You should do it because it's what's needed to be done at that point. It makes sense, and then everybody can get into it, not because you want to make it about yourself. That's what I'm saying. People have seen this video, my videos. No, that's my, what do you call it? This is one of my pet peeves when it comes to watching the product. I just cannot stand some of the fans and how they act. You know. Now, His dad called him and told KO that his mom was rushed to the hospital and he needed to get home. So he jumped on a flight and flew back to Quebec. And that's where he has been for the last 5 days, in the same hospital where she gave birth to him, with his dad and brother at her bedside watching her fight like hell. And his folks won't be there tonight at SmackDown or at Money in the Bank tomorrow because his mom is still in the hospital bed fighting like hell. And I know I could stay home tonight, then it wouldn't have been a problem with anybody back there or out here. And I should have stayed home, but I didn't because one person it would have been a problem with, and that is his mother. Because ever since he was 11 years old and discovered pro wrestling and WWE, she did everything she could along with her dad so that he could realize his dream, get to WWE, and she wanted KO to fight like hell. She told him every day, every single time, to come in here and leave it all in the ring. And if she heard that he'd miss a show because of her, she'd be so pissed. So here I am in Bloodline, let me tell you, I am sure that than I have ever been in my entire career. Tomorrow, win, lose, or draw, all I care about is that I do what my mom has wanted me to do for the last 4 years, and that is just kick the living hell out of the Bloodline. And to beat their asses worse than ever before. Mom sounds like a badass lady, doesn't she? And that was a very good segment. I love that they gave KO the most of it. You just gave Cody a few words. They gave Randy Orton just put out that similar thing he always talks about. The three most famous letters in sports entertainment are KO. Because if they would have gave them a segment like a long thing like this they did with KO, this promo would have went on way too long. Maybe if it was on Raw, they each would have had just as long as a thing, because Raw needs to fill in the 3 hours. So that's why a lot of people, like especially myself, that just don't want 3 hours anymore. It's too long. It's too drony. It drags too long. Let's see what happens on Netflix when they go there. Is going to be 2 hours? They don't need that extra hour or an extra time, because that's what they do. They use those for sponsors and all that stuff. If I'm not mistaken, right? That's what it is, right? Right, they're so long. Commercial breaks, whatever. I don't know. I don't think in Netflix you don't need to be 3 hours anymore. 2 hours be fine. 2.5 hours. Half hour of promos from everybody, and then the rest of it's wrestling. You imagine that? 4 wrestling matches, each 15 minutes. Like they did when McMahon initially left. Remember that on Raw? How great it was? Now, the WWE Women's Champion with her BFF Naomi by her side is set to face Piper in a rematch from the Clash of the Castle. And Io Sky is at ringside. I don't know why at first I thought, why is she there, right? But then as the match goes on, you'll see why she's there. And I'm thinking, duh. And then Piper's showing why she is someone who could easily be a threat to Bayley's title. She did very well at Clash of the Castle. And I hope one day she will get her due and be a champion. I don't know. And the women, though. All of a sudden now, the women in the Money in the Bank are at ringside. We saw Io. Then we saw Zoe. And then Lyra was seen. Of course, Chelsea's there already. And so is Naomi. All at ringside. And they keeping a close watch on the champ. And then the 6th competitor comes out, and that's Tiffany Stratton. Tiffy time. All 6 Money in the Bank entrants are here. And a roast plant secures the victory for Bayley. A lot of... and reason why it happened is because a lot of just chaos. Because you see... Tiffany Stratton get into it with them. They start hitting each other, going at each other. Tiffany goes off the top rope with a, prettiest moonsault, right? She didn't do the bouncing thing. It's kind of be hard to do that from the outside, but she did that, took out the field. And then as the champ's there celebrating, Nia comes in and attacks the champ. And I guess Bayley forgot that Jax is also targeting her title and her, as she's the winner of the King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring, I should say, and gets a title shot at SummerSlam, whoever that champion is going to be. And Mi Chin, with an equalizer in the form of a kendo stick in hand, takes out the Queen and sends her back up the rampway with Tiffy by her side. So there is definitely an alliance for sure between those two. And then it was announced that Trish Stratus is the host of Money in the Bank. Well, as long as it ain't Sexy Red and her annoying mumbling and twerking that she did at NXT Battleground. A lot of you don't watch NXT or even their PLEs, but God, what a train wreck she was. A waste of time. I'm pretty sure Triple H said she's well known amongst the young fans out there, so let's target their demographic. But I'm pretty sure he regretted that, because it's like, I don't like it when they bring celebrities out and do it like that. They're not, former wrestlers or current wrestlers hosting a fucking event. But she was just awful. She had nothing. It's almost like, I said this before in the past, especially on my review of that show. It's like she would say something and then she just, okay, let me twerk because I forgot, or it's all twerk until something comes into my mind. It just seems like that's how it was. I don't want to dwell on that because that's in the past, but it's like, yes, Trish Stratus. We haven't seen her in a while. Yes, bring her back. Let her be a host. Let's see her. But now, up next is the Tag Team Championship match with DIY challenging A-Town Down Under. I like how that comes together, right? A-Town. He says A-Town down, and then, of course, Waller's from Down Under, from Australia. So you put that together. Yeah, it's pretty clever. Whoever came up with that tag team name. And then the challengers have the early advantage as the match goes on, and they take it to the champs. Then the match goes on, and then they perform a shatter machine as DIY take a page out of their greatest rival, that being the Revival, now known as FTR in AEW. But it's only good for a near fall as Waller kicks out after earlier taking out his own partner Theory while aiming for Gargano. The typical, the guy's behind, your guy's behind your opponent, holding him like this. But 9 out of 10 times what happens, the guy ducks out of the way, you end up hitting. What a straight up, easy way to cause friction between a tag team. Are they going to break these guys up already? Do it already. Or if not, shut the fuck up already with it. It's like, and also, why do that? You're a great team. You're going to break up another decent tag team for the sake of a really, really just quick, maybe even a throwaway feud. Keep them together. You bring up 2 other people. You probably make them a tag team. And from the get-go, they don't get along. Well, let's get together for a common good, whatever. And then eventually, you wouldn't care about that tag team beating up, breaking up. There's some people that say they don't care about Waller. Waller, they say he's annoying. They don't care about Theory because he's failed. They haven't really pushed him. They haven't really did anything, wrote anything booking-wise, creative-wise good for him. But he's young. So is Waller. Y'all want stuff to happen too quickly. It's a build-up. You think Hogan, you think Flair, you think all of these greats, Rock and all them, do you think they had it easy in the beginning? Especially The Rock. We all know Rock's story. Rocky dies chance. Remember that? Because people hated his toothy, smiley Rocky Maivia when he first came out in 96, right? The Survivor Series. And then he realized, okay, I got to switch this up. And then he found, the persona that we all knew, which began in the Nation of Domination. So it's like, give these people some time. That's all I'm saying. Now, there's a point where I'm asking myself, will DIY meet in the middle? As they target Waller and attempt to finish him off and win the tag team titles, but that effort is thwarted by an A-Town Down Under as they take control and take out Ciampa, and it's pinned nearly as Johnny makes the save. Now, Project Ciampa is delivered on Waller and DIY attempt to meet in the middle for the second time, and they do, but Theory places Waller's foot on the bottom rope. Or he just puts his foot under the rope and he's holding the foot there, like that. Jessica Carr sees it, so yeah, she calls it off. Calls off the forces the break. But Gargano slaps on the Gargano escape on Waller, and Ciampa puts a meddling Theory who tries to, he jumps in there and grabs his hand so that he don't tap. And he puts him into the Sicilian stretch, and Waller taps out. And you see Theory tapping out a little bit later, just kind of like this, But what's important is that Waller tapped, and the crowd goes nuts as the new WWE Tag Team Champions are crowned. It's been a long time coming. I like the build. They didn't give them the titles right away. They made them fight. They made them scratch and claw, rung by rung, to get to the top of that ladder, to get to the top of that hill. They're crawling on hands and knees with dirt in their fingers, getting up that hill. Finally at the top of the mountain. And good on them. 8 years ago in this very arena, they won the NXT Tag Team Championships. I believe it was against the Revival. 2 out of 3 falls, I think. I know that was one of their matches. Kind of hard to think that back that far when sometimes I can't remember what I did a second ago. I had that kind of a day at work. I'm not going to get at that, but man, I was forgetting things left and right. I might have to check my brain. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, let's move on. Again, great match. They were 90-day champions, was Waller and Theory. A decent run. 90 days ain't nothing to sneeze at, right? But nowadays, people, tag team title reigns or even title reigns in general don't last long. But sometimes you get a long title reign. So they should just be thankful that they got that much. And they might get the titles back soon. Who knows? Who knows how long are Waller and... I don't even know if... Theory, you said Waller and Theory. At least I said both of them, but I said it was wrong. I'm trying to say Gargano and Ciampa. I don't know if they're going to be the team that they want to build a division around. I know it wasn't Waller and Theory. That's why I'm thinking, no, they can drop the titles. But again, congratulations to DIY as they are the new Tag Team Champions. The final segment. And the Tribal Chief, quotes, put those in quotes, Solo Sikoa addresses the WWE Universe. This is Ulafala, says Solo as he holds the necklace of Roman Reigns, the real Tribal Chief. Remember that when his father, his late father, Sika, put that necklace around him, around his neck? This makes me the Tribal Chief. This is not what I want, but this is what my family needed. Roman Reigns was not the man. Was not man enough to defend our title at WrestleMania. He was not man enough to defend our legacy against Cody Rhodes and his legacy. Therefore, he shall no longer call himself the Tribal Chief, because I am the Tribal Chief now. I am going to take back our WWE Undisputed title from Cody Rhodes. And if Roman Reigns wants that back, he can try and take it from me. Because I am going to show everyone in the Money in the Bank 6-man tag team match, Cody Rhodes, I'm coming for you. And you will acknowledge me. I love this segment. To see this, the looming presence of Jacob Fatu, Tagaloa, and Tama Tonga behind them. You can't even see them clearly. It's just a shade of them, a shadow. Very, very ominous. And if y'all are wondering if Solo Sikoa can talk, if he can, carry a promo, if he can be a leader, you listen to his voice. No stuttering, no pausing, very clear, his tone was very impressive. He has arrived. And I look at them, I'm like, that is a force to be reckoned with. Right on the same, plateau, or you say, or the same level as the Wyatt Six. So you're looking at 2 of the top factions right now. And you got Judgment Day, you got the Final Testament, you got, some of the others that are there. And it's just they don't compare at this point. It's all about the Y6 on Raw, and it's about the Bloodline on SmackDown. And as he was talking about Roman, they would show Roman, you know, while you hear his voice, and then it's like, I'm always thinking to myself, how did they get the necklace? Did they take that from Roman? He says, like I said in the past, he said that Roman ain't coming back. Did they take him out? And Roman is just biding his time. He's healing because maybe he was attacked. They're probably going to show something like that. Maybe they filmed something and then they're going to show that later on to show that he was attacked. It could have been Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa who did, or even Jacob Fatu and got the necklace. You remember last week, Paul Heyman's expression when he saw that? Very, very physically affected by it, very emotionally, because he's attached to that because that belongs to his tribal chief. And the thing about Paul Heyman is that he put a lot of just effort into looking believable, like someone who has been losing sleep and has been worried sick about the situation and all that stuff. And then it was said that Paul Heyman didn't sleep for 2 days, and I think they said that he didn't bathe like regularly, like just to make it like he didn't shave. Maybe not the bathing part, but the shaving part. He let his beard grow, his gray comes out, making him look like not the all put together wise man that he usually is. I mean, 58 years old, and he took 2 bumps. He took a flying headbutt. That's not a bump per se. I mean, I don't know if they consider bumps if you fall to the mat or something like that, but he took that as a spot. He took that, and then he took a major spot, a major bump going through a table, and he even fell back on the back of his neck. He rolled over. I don't know if he got any injuries. This hasn't been reported yet. At least I haven't seen it. But if you guys are still questioning about his progress and about him being the leader now of this of this bloodline, y'all are just hating. Sometimes you need to kind of put your hate to the side and look at the situation. Even I will say that a person, even though I'm not a fan of a certain wrestler or a fan of a segment, if I see something that was done well, I'll be like, yeah, at least they did well. Like that. I still don't like the guy. I still don't like the girl. I still don't like the faction or the whatever, but that was good. I will say that. This was great. Everything on SmackDown was just perfect. Everything, especially going towards, Money in the Bank, which when this video is posted, is going to be the day of. I'm probably not going to post the Money in the Bank until my thoughts and everything on it until Sunday. But it was great. One of the best SmackDowns I've seen in some time. I absolutely enjoyed everything. Even the segments with the Money in the Bank participants, Yes, they have the women at ringside, and then they get into it, and then all hell breaks loose, and then the champion gets attacked and all that stuff. But sometimes, especially when you have a segment like this, and even with KO, you got to put more time on these things instead of on, even though Solo talked in like a couple minutes. But in those 2 minutes, he proved to me, I don't know about you, and I'm sure he has some converts, people that are now on his side, maybe not specifically on the side of the bloodline, but on his progress and on his side, knowing that you see that he has transitioned into a leader of a faction that at one time he was just the enforcer. He was the side note, right? He was the sidekick. Now he's not, no longer the sidekick. He is the leader of the bloodline for now. We'll see what happens when Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns comes back. When Roman Reigns comes back, that's when he's going to bring Paul Heyman. That's when Paul Heyman's coming back to sell this injury, to sell this storyline beatdown. And then you're going to see how somehow Jay and Jimmy are going to come together. Jey Uso might be into something, and then someone comes to his aid and helps him, and that is Jimmy. Jay's going to be hesitant. Jay's going to be like, I don't know. And then over the weeks or over the day, you're going to see them gradually come together. And then they're going to join Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman, and then they're going to take on this bloodline. Now, who's going to join them to even up the odds? You know what I mean? Is Zilla Fatu going to come in? Hikuleo's coming in, probably the brother of Tama Tonga. That's gonna make them, along with what do you call it? Along with Solo Sikoa, that's 5. You got the Survivor Series coming up, right? Then on the other side, you have Roman, the Usos, and Zilla Fatu. And who else? There's a younger brother of the Usos, an even younger one. They might bring him in. Is he a wrestler? I'm trying to remember. I think he is. It'd be weird if he wasn't, because a lot of almost every person in the I don't know why he wrestling family are wrestlers. I mean, majority of them are anyway. But that's something to think about. That's maybe how it happens. It's just a matter of when they're gonna pull the trigger on that. When that's gonna pop off. SummerSlam en route to Survivor Series. They got to build it up for them to have that, that 5-on-5 for Survivor Series. I know it's been 4-on-4 before, but that's like when it was NXT. Sometimes they would do it 4-on-4, right? Yeah. When NXT was doing the whole War Games concept, the War Games matches and shit. But that's all I can say. Like I said, I enjoyed SmackDown. Very, very well done show. Everything clicked. Everything hit. I don't think there was a weak segment or a weak match. Did its job en route to Money in the Bank. This was the go-home show for them, for SmackDown, and they did a good job. Raw, same thing. A very good job. I think this week was great for wrestling because even Dynamite was great. And then we have Money in the Bank. And if Money in the Bank is just as great as these shows were, it's going to be a perfect week for wrestling. I didn't watch Rampage, didn't watch Collision. Nothing else of wrestling note outside of the same 3 shows that I do every week. And if there's a PLE, a pay-per-view, I throw that in. But I enjoyed it. I think it was great. Then I'm looking forward to Money in the Bank. And you guys will be getting my thoughts on that, review. Talk about it. Put my thoughts out there, like I said, about that. And you'll definitely get that on Sunday. I'm not going to rush it because it's just too much wrestling, It's like sometimes I get drained of it and I want to take take a seat back and, and just think about it. Kind of let it marinate and let me relax and chill before I do another one, another video. But anyway, that's my video. So for those of you who stopped by and checked it out, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And until next time, take care, and I will see you in my next video.